Yo folks, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be covering a tier list for Honkai Star Rail. Just note, this is from the closed beta, so skills and infos can change. Not to mention, these are just my opinions and any character could be strong under the right team or circumstance. All the links in the description in case you guys want to make your own tier list or get the latest info for Honkai Star Rail by pre-registering. Let's jump right into this. The first character we gotta cover is Asta right here, if I could drag her on over. And I'm gonna be placing her in B ring, specifically because her skill randomized on her AoE capabilities, her multipliers are a little bit low, and she's going to be doing a buff, a speed buff in particular for her ultimate. So she's gonna sit in B rank because her kit's all over the place. Let's cover our next character, which is going to be Bailu right here. She's gonna be in SS rank purely because one, she can have a revive. That's really insane. Her heal is based off of her HP, so she's going to be slightly tanky. And then she's also going to increase everyone's HP. She can heal more people at once, which some healers struggle with, which is really great, and that's just on her skill. Her ultimate can cast Invigorate, provide some nice little buffies. She is just the best healer in the game because she can heal a lot of people whenever you need it. And that revive mechanic is absolutely insane, especially in the simulated universe. Really great kit overall. Then we got Clara right here. She's physical damage. She's on the path of destruction. And while she's a little cutie, she's going to be sitting in B rank because her mechanics and kits are all over the place. She has this thing where when she gets hit, she will be dealing damage or countering the unit, which sounds good on paper, but she doesn't have a taunt. And enemies target opponents randomly or target your characters randomly. Not to mention her ultimate is going to be damage reduction. So if her ultimate was the damage reduction or some way to gather the opponents, then it would be really great. Maybe if she has a specific light cone that makes it so that she's going to be more targeted, then she could be in A rank or S rank, but her kit alone doesn't do that, hence why she's going to be right here in B. Next up, we have Dan Hong, one of my personal favorites for single target DPS. He has the capabilities of decreasing speed for enemy types, and not to mention he has good crit damage overall and low energy for his ultimate. So I'm going to place him in A rank purely because he has a lot of things going for him. He's on the path of the hunt, so it makes it even easier for him to do single target DPS, which is why I love this man. Yeah, I wish I could place him in S rank, but he's gonna sit in A. Yanqing right here, he is one of the best, and he scales with crit damage. He increases his own crit rate. He's an absolute monster when it comes to just dealing damage. He's gonna sit in SS rank. He also has the capabilities to do extra attacks with his skills. And if you get a crit damage like gear set on him and crit rate, he's just going to be really crazy. One of the best boss killers and one of my favorite units within the game. Gepard, I really loved him. I wish I could love him even more. But he's going to be sitting in B rank purely because his kit is super lackluster. He deals ice damage on his skill. He doesn't do a taunt or anything or provide a shield. He provides a shield on his ultimate, which is difficult to gather. His ultimate is just a shield. It doesn't do anything extra. He doesn't taunt. He doesn't do anything. Maybe if he has a light cone that can make it so that he's going to be targeted even further, but he's going to be on the path of preservation, so they're focused on tagging and sustaining themselves, then maybe that's the case. Who knows? But for now, on his kit alone, he's going to be sitting here in B rank. Next up, we have Arlan. He's kind of a stray dog kind of character because he's the only one that sacrifices HP in order to cast his skills, and honestly his multipliers are a little low. He's on the path of destruction, so he does have some sustain. He might be dying before he casts any of his skills, so he's going to be in C rank right here. We have Herta, one of my favorite units, Kuru AoE queen. I'm going to place her in A rank because she needs to have the enemies at 50% less HP in order for her to deal her follow-up attacks. And her ultimates are going to be very spammable, but there's going to be better erudition or AoE type characters, such as Himeko right here. Every single time you break an opponent 3 times, she's going to be doing her follow-up attack, and she's absolutely busted in that regard. Path of erudition, excellent AoE damage, multi-target, one of the queens. I highly recommend her. Really fun unit for farming and all that stuff. We also have Hook right here. Now, Hook is on the path of destruction. If she was on the path of the hunt, I would easily place her a little bit higher. Her multipliers are really great, but she's going to sit in A rank. Do not sleep on her because she's one of the best units in that regard. And she's a bruiser type, so she can, have some self-recovery. Really well-rounded character overall, and her kit just synergizes with what she's trying to do as a unit. And then we got Jing Yuan right here. He's going to be a bit of a lightning boy, a general, and a husbando, and one of the best when it comes to dealing AoE damage. In AoE damage department specifically, he beat in SS rank a little bit higher than Himeko, but he's gonna sit in S rank because his damage isn't too high, and the fact that he gets like a little buddy that can actually deal damage with him on another turn is really cool, but his multipliers just don't equate to the fact that he's going to be dealing more damage than someone like Yanqing right here. And the Path of Erudition just makes it so that multi-target damage is better. I really wish I could place him higher, but with low multipliers and things that just don't scale well with single target or just higher numbers, he's going to be sitting in S rank right here, but a really strong S rank, almost SS. We have Bronya, the queen herself. Bronya tier is triple S, and the reason for that is she can increase anyone's action gauge by 100% on her skill. Not to mention, she can increase everyone's attack and damage on her ultimate. She is one of the best units. Bronya is just someone that can go on any team because eventually she can increase her crit rate to 100% on her basic attack. She can increase everyone's damage just by sitting on the field with your allies. Yeah, she's just insane. She's the only one that can do that. She's on the Path of Harmony, which further increases her buffing capabilities. Best unit in the game, I gotta say it. Kafka right here. She's on the Path of Nihility, so she's gonna be benefiting more debuffing mechanics, damage over time. She's very good at AoE, and she has a lot of mechanics that enable other kits. So she's gonna be sitting in S rank in particular because her damage isn't high enough, and it's not better than Yanqing right here. Yanqing, his synergy is just absolutely insane, and he could one-shot bosses under the correct circumstances because of that crit damage scaling. None of these three can do it, and that's why they sit in S rank, but they're really good at what they do in AoE. If this was more AoE tier list, then they'd all be like in triple S or something. Next up, we gotta talk about March 7th right here, one of my clear favorites, and she can provide a shield and counter. Gepard can't do that. So she's gonna sit in S rank. No, I wish I could put her in S rank, but her multipliers are a little bit too low. I'm pretty sure with the correct kit, you know, a little bit of love, she could sit in SS or S rank because she's gonna be dealing damage all the time, and her shield scales very well. I really love her as a unit, but without like the correct gearing and scaling, she's gonna sit in A rank right here. Next up is Natasha, one of our dedicated healers. I think everyone is able to use her, purely because of the fact that healers are kind of required and absolutely necessary. I'm gonna place her in S rank, but you could argue she's just a healer and her damage is really low. But you need at least one healer in the game because the damage that enemies deal is quite significant, and anyone can honestly use her on their team. Next up is going to be Pela right here, and she's one of my favorite units because she has a defense shred. Not to mention she's on the Path of Nihility, which means she's going to be doing a lot of, you know, damage over time, debuffing mechanics. But unfortunately, her kit is lackluster. Her skill just removes a buff. Her ultimate does a defense shred, but it's not enough to make her comparable to someone like Kafka, who's just leagues ahead and does actual damage. Her multipliers are just too low. Hopefully they improve her kit in the future. Next up is Qingque right here, and she's going to be on the Path of Erudition, so AoE multi-target centric. Now, she has a lot of mechanics where she can increase her own attack and buff herself. I wish she was on the Path of the Hunt so she could get access to light cones that increase her single target damage, and she could deal single target damage. But no, she's on the Path of Erudition. She's AoE, so she's going to be sitting at A rank. Not too good, not too bad, but at the same time, definitely usable. You know what? I'm going to place her in B rank just because it's not fair to March 7th, Hook, and Herta. They're just a lot better, and she's just going to be here because they could just use improvements. These characters are not bad. I just want them to get better. That's what I'm trying to say with this tier list in particular in the CBTs. Sampo, one of my favorite husbandos, SS tier. And some of you might be questioning, why is SS tier for Sampo? That's purely because he can act as both AoE and single target, and he's on the Path of Nihility. So he has access to some of the best light cones. The light cones in Nihility increase the chances of debuffing, damage over time. Everyone's going to be doing damage over time. Everyone wants to land their debuffs. And his bouncing feature makes it so that he can land the wind shear debuff, which is like the wind damage over time, fairly easily. And I saw him doing insane numbers, whether it's going to be against the boss or against multiple enemies thanks to that bounce feature. Sampo is really cool. I absolutely think he's one of the best units in the game. Then we got Seele right here, the queen of It's Always My Turn, action gauge manipulator. She's gonna be an SS tier. You know why? If you haven't seen the video, I think Braxophone posted it where she's doing like 7 or 8 turns by herself. You can do a thing where she kills an opponent, she goes again, then you cast her ultimate, then she goes again, she kills an opponent, then she goes again. So she is really great in that department. She's almost the Path of Erudition, except even better, she gets access to the light cones and Path of the Hunt, so her damage scaling on single target goes really crazy. She's not better than Yanqing, because Yanqing just has better crit damage, better single target damage overall, but he's not going to be going that many times as someone as Seele. Both really great units, different in their own regard. Next up is Serval, the Path of Erudition, AoE multi-target base. She's going to be in A rank because she's solid at her AoE, and she is much better than someone like Asta, unfortunately. I'm going to put Asta a little bit over here, and I'll put Qingque, yeah, she's going to be right here next to Clara. Then we got Silver Wolf. She's going to be on the Path of Nihility. Now, she would benefit if she was on the Path of the Hunt and she had more single target capabilities, because she has a lot of mechanics where she's applying bugs and buffing herself, but she's going to sit here in A rank because her kit doesn't synergize with all the capabilities that she's doing. Hopefully it gets a little bit reworked and then maybe she can sit in S rank. But for now, I'm going to place her in A rank right here, right behind Donghong, because their damage is definitely comparable at the end of the day. Then we got Tingyun right here. She is the Foxy waifu, and I'm going to place her in A rank. Now, she could sit in S rank, but her multipliers aren't too low. She is mostly a support, and her ultimate is going to be granting 50 energy, which is huge, and increasing their damage. That's the reason why she is so good. And this makes it so that, oh, for example, she needs her ultimate, she can cast it. Or Yang needs her ultimate, then we can cast it. Oh, we need a heal? Then Bailu can cast her heal right there. Or maybe Natasha needs to grant the heals. Jing Yuan is a harmony unit that can go on any team in particular. It's almost like Bronya tier, but the thing is she's not increasing anyone's action gauge right off the bat. She's going to be doing stuff with ultimates mostly. She's one of my favorite units overall, and I think anyone could use her. She just doesn't have like the damage or like unit synergies without proper mechanics, so that's why she's sitting in A rank right here. Sushang, don't sleep on her, SS tier. She has the capabilities of increasing her action gauge. She scales very well with crit damage, crit rates. Not to mention, she gets extra attacks fairly easily. She's one of the best units, single target, access to the Hunt Light Cone. Next up, we have the Traveler. It's going to be the Fire one, and I'm going to place her in A rank. She has a lot of buffing capabilities, shield mechanics, and she's going to be protecting your allies fairly frequently. Her multipliers are a little bit low, not as like crazy as these units right here who can be used everywhere. Definitely, if you don't have a tank and you want one, I think she's going to be one of the best, but March 7th is, you know, maybe carrying herself a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to place her at the head of A rank right there. Next up, we have Traveler, the physical DPS variant. He's going to be in B rank because he's not great. He's not bad. He's just on the path of destruction. He's a bruiser type, and he could be better if he just had more capabilities outside of the fact of just dealing damage. We got Welt, the final unit on the tier list, finally, and he is going to be sitting in SS rank purely because he has the abilities to reduce action gauge. He can also decrease speed. He is going to be on the Path of Nihility, so he has access to debuffing chance increases, damage over time increases. He's a really great unit, and you can make it so that your enemies never get a turn because of someone like Welt, passing his ultimates over and over again. I'm pretty sure if you paired a team with like Bronya, Welt, and then you have Tingyun right here, they would be going forever. And then you have someone like Seele who does like a little bit of turn manipulation, or Bailu for survivability, or Yanqing for just pure DPS, or Sampo. Anyone in SS tier, they can plug and play, but SS tier Bronya is just clearly the best. Now that we've covered everything, I just want to showcase one more tier list. This is my waifu husbando tier list, where I think all the characters are wonderful, and Trailblazer is in his own tier. I really love all the characters in Honkai Star Rail. They're really well designed. In case you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram in case you want to see me IRL con stuff and all that I do. Thanks so much for watching. Once we have 40k subs, we're doing a giveaway, and have yourself a fantastic day. See you guys in the next one.